Hello there, it's the third day of action from Kuala Lumpur and we welcome you live on Star Sports to the Stadium Negara, where we find Indonesia taking on Argentina in Group A. It's the last group game for the Indonesians. Argentina played a couple, won a couple, and they look destined to win this group. Okay, so let's just welcome 𝐕-𝐒𝐲𝐫 once more. 𝐕-𝐒𝐲𝐫, I think at this stage, probably by day 3, we need to explain that it's a competition that works on cup, plate and bowl level, and that's why Indonesia will always have something to play for, won't they?
They will, John, and it will be good if they play in the final of a bowl, even though that means they will finish bottom of the group, because despite that 7-2 win over England, looks likely that they will finish bottom.
Absolutely. Well, they've had a great victory already. Argentina were always the favourites to win this group. They're the defending champions here in Kuala Lumpur. They are a class act. They hammered England, scoring 12 against them. They were somewhat more subdued against Malaysia. They found it hard to score goals. Now, for Indonesia, they're actually playing their fourth and final group match. They scored a splendid 7-2 victory against a completely demoralised England side. So with that in mind, 𝐕-𝐒𝐲𝐫, they're not going to be pushovers. Are they going to do as well, for example, as Malaysia did against Argentina?
I think that'll be the game plan, John, to keep the score low, try not to concede too many, because that can shatter your confidence. And, of course, a great opportunity to play against the team that's ranked 6th in the world. The experience that they will learn or they will earn from this match will be priceless.
They've had a tough schedule. They've played more than anyone else in this tournament so far, but this young side has maintained a fantastic level of fitness, and they really are very impressive. Okay, then, time for the arrival and the FIFA anthem, as we have observed the necessary protocol here at the Stadium Negara. They're a good team, this one, 𝐕-𝐒𝐲𝐫. They've shown a lot of spirit. The coach, 𝐿𝐥𝐻𝐵, has shown that he is very, very good at getting the best out of them. And for Argentina, 𝐂𝐳𝐻𝐵 is going to keep his team motivated. I'm sure the coach has got them motivated. What will they want to do as they tune up for the weekend's serious action?
I think it's important after that a bit of a poor performance against Malaysia, John. They come out there and show their best again, and that's what the coach will want to do. He will not accept the fact that they are going into a slump. So get out of it as soon as possible and score as many goals as they can against Indonesia.
Absolutely. There were some angry faces on the Argentine bench yesterday. Things did not pan out at all well in the second half against Malaysia, and one or two of the players did appear to be just conserving themselves. We're looking forward to seeing the likes of Christian Boruto finding the way to go once again, because Boruto has been absolutely splendid. 6 goals so far for him. But he and the rest of his teammates now will stand and listen to the anthems of both their own country, that's Argentina, and their opponents today, Indonesia. Here we go.
Argentina.
A rousing finale to the Argentine national anthem. We're about to get going with this Group A encounter from the 𝐂𝐨 World Fives Futsal here in Kuala Lumpur. Okay then, they're lined up. Let's get to details of exactly who will be taking to the pitch first up. That means we get to our commentators. And the team we've lined up for this particular game, a larger-than-life character from Southeast Asian football, 𝐕-𝐒𝐲𝐫𝐭, and a larger-than-life character, full stop, Paul Masefield.
Thank you very, very much, John. Should be a good game, this one. Argentina know that they've got to get goals, but it's Indonesia that will be the focal point, playing their last group game. Let's just have a look at the side that will take to the field of play. All the news is about 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐼. He is back in, which should be very, very interesting. He's the goalkeeper that was suspended. Let's meet the team.
𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐼, goalkeeper. Sokrates Matulesi, player. Jailani Lajanibi, player. Denny Handoyo, player. Angasya Saputra, player.
As for Argentina, no changes made from the opening group encounter, which saw them beat England comfortably 12-1. All the talk is about number 9, 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵. Let's meet the players.
Mi nombre es 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐵𝐿𝐼, soy el capitán, soy el número 8, mi posición es universal.
Mi nombre es Santiago Elías y soy el arquero de la selección argentina de futsal.
Mi nombre es Cristian Borruto, mi posición es universal. Mi nombre es Mauro Tafarel y soy el cierre de la selección.
Mi nombre es Santiago Basile y mi posición es ala.
So there is the two sides that will take to the field of play. Argentina currently top Group A with 6 points, having scored 19 goals and only conceding 2. It has been a wonderful trip for them so far. Can they extend that today against an Indonesian side that will not want to finish bottom? So they don't want to get absolutely hammered today, because goal difference could come down to it if England were to try and force anything out of their remaining 2 games. As John mentioned, I'm joined in the commentary position by 𝐕-𝐒𝐲𝐫. What can we expect from this game? Is it going to be a stroll in the park, or can the Indonesians hold out a little bit longer and maybe do what China did to Brazil?
And also what Malaysia did to Argentina, Paul. Yes, for long periods, you can defend against the Argentinians if you defend deep, if you defend with a lot of discipline. But the Argentinians, after that lackluster performance against Malaysia, will be expected to come out, go for the kill very early on, you know, keep the momentum going. You don't want to come into a competition and then the coach realizes that, hang on, you know, the players might just have peaked a little too early. Are we going, you know, at the beginning of a slump? So really, Argentina need a convincing win.
They are in their traditional blue and white striped shirts, kicking from left to right. And if you're new to futsal, as the game develops, we'll update you on the laws, because it is very different to the 11-a-side variety of the game. At the moment, the passing and movement is all from Argentina. Basile plays it through. Good strong challenge there from Sokrates, who has worked hard during this tournament, the number 5 for Indonesia.
Indeed, Paul. I mean, you know, their work rate is commendable. They might lack a little bit of experience, but they work very well as a unit. Jelani, Sokrates, the 2 players at the back, they are strong, they are tough, and they've got skills as well when they push on.
Godoy just helps it down the line. There's the man everybody's talking about. 6 goals so far in this competition. Absolutely on fire against England. 𝐕-𝐻𝐵 just tried to create half a yard for himself, and there he is now on the ball with a little layoff. So Argentina being patient here at the Stadium Negara. Just trying to wear the Indonesians down by passing the ball around. At the bottom of the screen there, you'll see there are 5 green dots. That's the foul count. So when one of them turns to red, that means that a side has committed a foul, as we have the opportunity coming very early there for Godoy.
The Argentinians just speeding it up, Paul, from a set-piece situation. And Godoy will be very, very unhappy that he did not score. Well worked, though.
It was well worked. As we're going back to the fouls there, well, the goalkeeper there couldn't touch the ball because he'd already thrown it in. The ball must go across the halfway line before the goalkeeper can touch it again. So quite wisely there, 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐼 elected not to touch it. Well worked. And is it any surprise that it's 𝐕-𝐻𝐵 that gets his name on the score sheet first? 𝐕-𝐒𝐵, this boy is a little bit special. It was a soft goal,
It was a soft goal, Paul. I mean, the marking could have been better, should have been better. Just got napping a little bit. And this missed kick, really, I will not say it was a missed kick, Paul. I mean, that is a pass because it catches you off if you don't hit the ball cleanly. And 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐻, he is a poacher of the highest quality.
𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐻 has been pulled from goal, and it was something that happened in the game, which we'll explain very shortly. He is an outfield player, hence wearing a black shirt to distinguish him as the man that can handle the ball. 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐻 was suspended after being sent off against Malaysia. 𝐷𝐻𝐻 went in goal and did pick up a knock, so obviously not fully recovered yet. Hence, Laksana not wishing to risk him in any way, shape or form. But it did work for them, didn't it, 𝐭𝐵, in that game that they played against England? Because, to be fair, 𝐴𝐻𝐻 kept coming forwards, made the extra man and just sat in that pivot role.
He did. I mean, that really changed the game for them. I thought up to that point, there was not much to separate Indonesia and England. But having 𝐴𝐻𝐻 there as the number 5 outfield player and then going into goal was a big, big advantage.
Blue and white shirt streaming forwards here now. Confidence high, and 𝐴𝐻𝐻 with a good save. Oh, wow. My, oh my, is there anything that this boy can't do on a futsal court? That'll be the question we'll be asking on Sunday. But one thing's for sure, 𝐭𝐵, he knows where the back of the net is. This is absolutely clinical and emphatic.
It is. I mean, you look at that. That's a toe poke, mind you. And once again, 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐻 is the architect of that. Good save from 𝐴𝐻𝐻, but just couldn't react quickly enough. He's not a natural goalkeeper, and it showed on that occasion.
Indonesia being asked to work extremely hard in the opening 2.5 minutes or so. Is it a foul there? No. 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐻 coming together there with Anga. 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐻. 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐻 with a little layoff. Joining in is Tafarel. They will top the group quite comfortably, won't they, 𝐭𝐵, Argentina? They are a different class when it comes to this Group A, which is a little bit weaker when you compare the teams that are in Group B.
It is by far, Paul. I mean, you know, that the Group B is very, very top-heavy. Whereas for Group A, apart from the Argentinians, I mean, there's a level of teams there pretty equal to each other. Although Australia have been the surprise side, and they look likely to come runners-up in this group.
They are taking their time, passing it around, but they are being very, very clinical in front of goal, and the shot poked in, and good reactions in the end from 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐻, who has been changed back on. Remember, rolling substitutions in futsal, but again, it's the turn, it's the shot, 𝐭𝐵, but a good save this time.
It is a very good save, and when you have a natural goalkeeper out there, he makes a difference, saving extremely well, including the rebound.
Socrates just pulled the trigger there, but pulled it wide. So Indonesia not allowing Argentina to have it all their own way. Trying to mix it up a little bit as well, force Argentina back.
Well, that's the end block change made, Paul. We see the likes of 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐻, Cavilla, Vaporalki out on the pitch now. And that's something you will see the Argentinians do a lot.
Cavilla very much in the shadow of 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐻, but he has scored goals in this tournament and almost added to his tally then. Fired that one across goal, and it was Vaporalki who came in and had the shot at the keeper.
Finding space very, very easily, the Argentinians. That means there's something there that the Indonesians are not doing. They're ball watching, they're not zoning or man-to-man marking. And this man has been Indonesia's best player. To be honest, Jalani has grown with every game.
He's been one of the bright sparks of the tournament, hasn't he, really, 𝐭𝐵? Because to come from the Indonesian team, the way that he plays the game is very, very good.
He does show a lot of maturity in his game, and you just think that perhaps he needs to get out of Indonesia to make the step up again, Paul. But it's not going to be easy for him because there's not too many professional leagues in the world.
Spain and Italy being the exception, of course. And you've got Brazil, but after that, some of the figures that are branded around, it is becoming more popular. It is one of the most popular games now, or expanding games in the world. when you consider that Iran has 20,000 registered futsal clubs and over 1.5 million players, and Spain and Italy, well, they're constantly banging out stadiums of 15,000 for futsal games, and there's a side in Moscow that has a €3 million budget for the season. Chevy, this sport is going places, isn't it?
It is. It certainly is growing at a rapid pace. Perhaps it was not, it has not been taken too seriously previously. Apart from the South Americans, yes, some of the Northern European countries have played it in the winter. But really now, Paul, I think, you know, this sport can rival football in terms of excitement. It's a small game. It requires a very, very high level of skill.
And it's very fast, as you see in there. The workload on the players is such that the rotation comes in, players come on and off all the time. That's good work from Argentina, and that's a good save there from 𝐂𝐳𝐽𝐻. Had to get his body in the way. 𝐕-𝐒 it was that was just trying to flick the ball around him.
It did very well. I mean, once again, where was the marker? Nobody marking 𝐕-𝐒. I think he just took his eye off the ball a little bit, just afraid of the collision. But credit to 𝐂𝐳𝐽𝐻.
Well, that was a set play from a kick-in, which you do see happen at times. There's another one. This time it just didn't come off. When you talk about the South Americans, they do go that far, and they do go in depth into the game, don't they? They've got set plays. We've seen blockers already today in a game that we saw earlier with Iran. We're talking about the top teams know how to do it, don't they?
They do, and they master it, Paul. I mean, you know, the set plays are very, very important. You mentioned the game between Holland and Iran. I thought that was a very high-level professional game where they tried to outsmart each other, not just with the skills, but with what do you call that, professionalism or gamesmanship, with, you know, unforeseen fouls. I mean, rather, the referees couldn't see those fouls, but they were happening to gain the advantage.
𝐳𝐽𝐻 back on, 𝐂𝐳𝐽𝐻 off. That's a tactic which is called a power play, and what that means is he will join up and become the pivot just in the centre circle. Normally, if they concede the ball, Indonesia, you'll see him run straight off, and 𝐂𝐳𝐽𝐻 comes straight on. There you go. It's happening now. Off he goes. 𝐂𝐳𝐽𝐻 comes back on. Like you said, it did work against England, but Argentina's a different kettle of fish, isn't it, Sheb?
They are different. When the Indonesians have had the ball, and they have had 𝐳𝐽𝐻 there as a extra man outfield, but he has not. I don't think, you know, he's got the confidence to do what he did against England.
Long toe poke there from 𝐂𝐳𝐽𝐻. Just wondering there if he can catch out Elias.
Well, Paul, I mean, we've spoken about how 𝐳𝐽𝐻 and 𝐂𝐳𝐽𝐻 have been interchanging positions. But if needs be, there's nobody better than Elias to come in and make the fifth outfield player. We've seen him do that. He's a goal-scoring goalkeeper as well. It'll be interesting to see. The Argentinians normally wait until they're about 4 goals up before he starts pushing up. Oops.
Well, we talked yesterday during the commentaries about the 5-minute rotation, which we saw in a game yesterday. That was the game that saw Iran take on Brazil. The players were on for 5 minutes as the goalkeeper pushes forward and fires one over the top. Elias isn't afraid to do that, is he? Step in and beat a player and drill a shot from range.
No, not at all. We didn't say that he's a goal scorer as well.
Oh, great turn. Good block, though. Good block. Indonesia now looking to counter. There could be a half opportunity here. It's whipped to the far post. But that's just where they let themselves down in tactical know-how, really. You see the South Americans breaking their neck to get to that far post because it's the most important position in futsal.
It is. It is. When you're on the offense, that is the one position where you get the, I would say, 60-70% of the goals. And 𝐕-𝐒, they're just back on the pitch, had a chance to get his hat-trick. Credit to 𝐂𝐳𝐽𝐻. I think, Paul, he's done well so far.
He has. He's a big, strong lad. Did make that awful mistake against Malaysia where he handled it in the opponent's half and got red carded for it. Here come Argentina again, just trying to cause a problem or two, but good, strong, solid defending that time from Andre. When we talk about players being on the 5-minute rotation, Argentina using a 3-minute rotation here, bringing the players on, letting them play for 3 minutes, then they go off, and it's wholesale changes, Chevy. And it's to give everybody a workout as well, isn't it? Because they'll use this game, they're looking for the big competition at the weekend, aren't they?
and you need a squad of players. You cannot come into a futsal tournament and say, this is my first choice and these are my reserves. No, you need a squad. You need to be able to call upon everybody during not only the course of the game, I mean, not only during the course of the tournament, but during the course of the game as well, Paul.
Here he is again, long-range toe poke. Haven't seen a goalkeeper score yet in this tournament. Cyan went close once or twice against England until Coach Laksana turned around and said he didn't want him to shoot anymore.
Well, there he is on the ball, and just not displaying the confidence, as I said earlier, trying to spread the ball around, giving it away, putting his team under pressure.
Naruto at the edge of the D, just loitering, waiting for the ball to come to him. Looking to create half a yard for himself. Good work down the right-hand side, though. Basile. Great skills. They are looking to work that opening, but in the end, Indonesia have to concede the corner. The tempo dropped a little bit from the initial opening exchanges. 2 quick goals from Argentina. Indonesia now just dropping off and making sure that they try not to concede many more. There you go, there's a chance. Just pushed it a little bit too far wide then. Basile it was that picked it up. Could have just twisted and turned and twizzled on the spot, really, 𝐕-𝐒𝐻, and poked it home, but elected to take it out of his feet.
Yeah, he needed to do that, Paul. But what was interesting was 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐻. I mean, as you said earlier, Paul, I mean, breaking his neck to get to the far post. And if that had gone beyond 𝐂𝐻𝐵, it would have been a tap-in.
Indonesia playing a little bit of a risky game here. Argentina going with a full press, similar to basketball in many respects, and that tactic, great challenge there from Basile. 𝐂𝐻𝐵 rolls it forwards. There's a chance here. Tees his friend up. Great save on the line, but poking it home yet again for the earliest hat-trick we've seen in this competition. 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐻 on the score sheet again. No surprise, was trying to be unselfish and tee up Gonzalez. Gonzalez fired it, great block on the line, but are we surprised that the predator is 2 meters from goal?
It is, I mean, you know, just lurking there, expecting the rebound. When he gets the rebound, he makes no mistake. Good defending from Sukma first up, but no chance for the second.
9.5 minutes gone. And here could be another one. Fired just over the top there. 𝐿𝐻𝐻 pushed in and should really have finished. There's the man who is topping the goal scoring charts by a mile at the moment. 9 goals he has scored. 4 against England, 2 against Malaysia. He's already got all 3 here. And one can't help but wonder and think that he will add to that tally in the next few matches.
There's no doubt about that, Paul. I mean, he's an early front runner for the top scorer.
Strong challenge going in there. A little bit of holding and pulling. Socrates guilty. We mentioned about the fouls, and the foul count at the bottom, when they all turn red, those dots, the green dots, that's 5. And what that means is there'll be an undefended free kick from 10 meters away. If it happens and comes around, we shall explain it a little bit more, because there are permutations to that if you are within 10 meters of the goal. But as it is at the moment, the foul count just 1 each. Oh, one straight off the training ground there. People, the movement. This time it didn't come off, but Argentina trying these things, but pressing again very high up the court. There could be another one here. Solid defending that time from Anga. 𝐿𝐻𝐻 looking to create a yard, whip it into that far post area. Strong coming together. 𝐿𝐻𝐻 fired it straight into the stand. Jelani back there. The man with the captain's armband, the youngster, is only 21 years old and already leads his country. That's no mean feat, is it, 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵, to have such a good youngster and giving him the responsibility of the captaincy as well.
and he's really reacted well to that. I mean, you know, his performances have been very, very consistent. He's been a leader out on the pitch for them. I think he's someone who just excels in that added responsibility.
And he actually showed as well that he's got grit and determination. Received a yellow card against England, but did score 2 goals, so an all-round credit to the side. There's a mistake there from Sayan. It's going to be a simple tap-in. That will see coach 𝐒𝐳𝐫𝐿 going absolutely livid and mad on the side, because one thing's for sure, you can't gift Argentina a goal. There he is. He's not happy at all.
No, he won't be happy, because Sayan should be thinking like an outfield player. I mean, if that mistake had been made by a goalkeeper, we can understand, Paul. For an outfield player, he should have seen the danger. He would have gotten rid of the ball very much earlier. Gives it away. Look at that. I mean, that's a very, very poor mistake. And 𝐕-𝐒𝐻 doesn't need a second invitation.
That's his 4th of the tournament as well. Knows where the back of the net is. 2 against England, 1 against Malaysia. So it's a side and a team that can score goals from anywhere. 7 different goal scorers they've actually got on the pitch, Argentina, so it just shows how much they've got about them.
It certainly is. I mean, Paul, once again, we see that Sayan going off, 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐵 coming on. I think maybe Coach Laksana, the Indonesian coach, maybe he just got a bit carried away by that performance against England, how well Sayan did when he made the 5th outfield player. But this is Argentina. When you're up against Argentina, you wish you could change the rules and have 2 goalkeepers at the same time. So that's
play with an extra
I think,
man.
Exactly. But I think that's where the coach has made a very, very big mistake.
But the question is, 𝐒𝐵, is it about development? What is it? Indonesia are relatively new to the game of futsal, so it is about learning. Do you just go all defensive like China did, or do you at least try and have a go, which is what Indonesia are doing? They are getting picked off as Argentina pour forwards again, and 𝐿𝐴Z𝐵 had to be on his mettle there and was. But what do? You know, it's a double-edged sword.
Well, I think, Paul, you know, first of all, when you're up against the big nations, what you do is learn how to stop the goals from going in, because that is great practice if you want to work on the defensive side of the game. I mean, you cannot go out, let's say, against a team that's almost the same standard as you and say, all right, you know, let's try to be defensive in this game. So you improve your defense if you play against Argentina by employing defensive tactics.
Another free kick conceded by Argentina. Just a little bit overzealous there in the challenge. Pasito just a little bit close. Indonesia with half an opportunity here then. 𝐒𝐵 is just pulled halfway between the 10-metre line and the halfway line. Fired in, the keeper, and he has just batted it away. Indonesia look to start again. Socrates fires it forwards. Nice little give and go. 𝐒𝐵. Denny, who did score against Malaysia and got 2 against England. Just looking a little bit out of sorts there, 𝐒𝐵.
Just a little too heavy on that touch. It was supposed to be a give and go. But they have been giving away possession rather too cheaply. And once again, I mean, the amount of space given there to the attacking player, the marking has got to be tighter. And 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵, the number 3 for me, Paul, has had a very, very steady game. He can act as the out-and-out defender, and he also can play further up.
3 goals in the tournament, so another one that knows where the back of the net is. Indonesia managed to win the kick-in. No throw-ins here in futsal. And you'll see the referee standing there, and you might actually hear them. They put their arms in the air, and they are counting to 4. You have 4 seconds to release the ball in play. Another mistake this time. 𝐿𝐴Z𝐵 makes the mistake, and that one's just wide. Good improvisation there, taking on the quick shot.
Indeed, very, very quick thinking. And 𝐿𝐴Z𝐵 should have cleared that ball. He's gone to look for a pass, gives it away.
𝐒𝐵 gets caught out. Socrates back there. 𝐿𝐴Z𝐵 with a very, very strong challenge. complete rotation here from Argentina. 2 seconds, the referee said 3, so the goalkeeper, 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐵, just drops the ball. He will not be able to touch it now until the ball goes into the other half. Of course, in due course with Argentina, it does. Great work, good play, but unfortunately there, 𝐂𝐨𝐵 couldn't get enough purchase on that shot. Anga dispossessed, and Argentina, well, cruising at the moment. Here is 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵, and well, we don't really expect that from him, do we? We expect him to bring that down and poke it home.
Indeed we do, and that just showed us that he's human after all. Under no pressure, he'd be very disappointed.
Here's 𝐵𝐻𝐵, who's on now without his black shirt, so considered an outfield player now, the number 7. Just looks as though the coach 𝐂𝐴𝐧𝐿𝐴 has decided and elected not to go for that tactic anymore, using him as the pivot and pushing forwards, adding an extra attacker. Here's Socrates.
It is the pressure, isn't it, Paul? I mean, from the Argentinians. Look at that. Once again, they win the ball very, very early in the one-on-one duels. And that really sets them apart. The quickness in thought, the quickness in their movement.
But given away by Denny. Socrates will just allow that one to roll out. Denny going for a change, so Socrates and Jelani, so wholesale changes from the Indonesian side.
Well, he's the one they got to miss. Not very happy. They fall down, giving away some cheap goals.
You have to say he's probably not happy, 𝐭𝐵𝐵, because he's by far their best player and he's just not really got the support. It's a shame because I'm on about at this level against Argentina, he's not getting the support from his teammates because they're not at his level.
Indeed, Paul, I agree with you. I mean, it just looks like, you know, he needs to have better players around him and he could improve even further. He is the best player, and that becomes a problem because then you stagnate, you don't improve, you can't get any better because the other players are not providing competition enough for you.
Andre takes the kick in. 𝐵𝐻𝐻 wins the kick in again, so a little bit bitty from Indonesia this half.
It is. I mean, it's a little out of sorts, not looking as sharp as they were against England. And for Argentina, it is easier. I mean, I wouldn't say that, you know, they are at their best yet, because I think you need to test them a little bit more.
But is that it? I mean, we're talking about a side, 𝐭𝐵𝐵, that could, if a strong side came up against them, they would push themselves a little bit more. They're playing very much within themselves, aren't they?
Indeed they are. I mean, it's very comfortable. They're winning all the one-on-ones.
Oh, great skill, great poke. Good block.
Very, very good block indeed. And Basile, he's been outstanding. He's got a wonderful left foot. I mean, look at that. He could have gone for the pass to Taffarel, but in that position, yeah, you want to get a little greedy.
Here's the set play drilled in. They were just waiting there for 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵 just to get in front of the goalkeeper. Wasn't quick enough that time, but he was chasing back. He's not just somebody who stands on the edge of the D and waits for the ball to come to him.
No, he
He's
works
showing that
very
they're
hard.
chasing back 40 metres.
Indeed, Paul. I mean, he works very, very hard with or without the ball, and that is a very important feature. I mean, we've seen some very good strikers out there. The Iranian captain, Wahid, is another one who works very, very hard.
Some say what a player he is. We've just seen him. We've been looking at him in the last 2 games, over the last 2 days he's played. He really is a quality player. Let's not forget that Brazil, they'll be playing later as well, and there's an abundance of talent in that side as well. None more so than 𝐵𝐼𝐻𝐵, who was injured for yesterday's game, had a bit of an ankle injury. So it'll be interesting to see if he takes the field of play today. Long range shot from Indonesia, again amounting to nothing. Somehow it was this time. It wasn't like this for the Iranian game earlier on against Holland. All the Iranian fans have left now, as that's wonderful play, and what a goal that is. That is just futsal at its best. Great play. Look at that pass there from Gonzalez, and a simple second goal for 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐻 means that Argentina really are cruising.
Well, Paul, I mean, you talk about you're playing the ball into space. I know it is a very small pitch, but that's exactly what happened. Gonzalez just playing into that space between the defender and the goalkeeper for 𝐕-𝐻𝐻 to get that deflection.
Indonesia looking to wind this one up, take the short. 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐵 shoots, just pokes it straight at Elias. Right inside, Gonzalez just rolls it back. Losing out in the middle of the park. Strong challenges starting to come in now. Good play there though from 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵, just lets that one go out. Did score a hat-trick against England as well. Yet another goal-scoring Argentinian. Gonzalez comes inside. The movement's been good from Argentina. The finishing's been clinical, and it's just epitomised with that goal. They strolled in, the passing, the movement, the finish, it was all there. Absolutely no mistake from a couple of metres out. But what a goal, 𝐻𝐵.
Not at all. I mean, the give and go from Gonzalez, and then 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐻 getting on the end of that one. It was almost like they were doing a warm-up. Where was the opposition?
So 6 goals for Argentina, 2 hat-tricks. 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐵 just gets his, and Argentina look as though they could find another one here on a quick counter-attack, fired across goal, but 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐵 making no mistake that time. Jelani back on the field, so Indonesia going back to what they normally do. Socrates is in there.
He's the man of the moment, isn't he, Paul? Alamiro, 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐵 rivaling Boruto in the goals column. It's just that, Paul, the difference, isn't it? I mean, when they need to, the Argentinians just step it up a little bit. They score a couple of goals, and then they play some possession football, and then they step it up again. They have been in total control.
You do have to say, it does look as though they are using this as a training exercise, keeping the ball, passing it around, working the Indonesian defence, and working themselves just to get a little bit of a workout, but not overextending themselves.
No, not at all. And it was important that after that performance against Malaysia, they should come out and be more positive, look a little sharper, which they have done.
We actually see that a few times in futsal there. You saw the ball roll underneath the attacker's foot, as there could be another one here, and, well, how has 𝐕-𝐻𝐻𝐵 missed that? It's an open goal, and he's just totally mistimed it.
Indeed, he did. I mean, this is a very, very good ball in from Russia. Just there, not moving his feet quickly enough. Came off his heel, wide.
I seem to remember you missing one like that, 𝐻𝐵, when we played futsal one time, a long, long time ago.
I've missed a lot like that, Paul. I must say I'm better on the other end of the pitch.
Indonesia get caught in possession again. This could be 7. The little rollover, and it's hit the post, but great skills there. Russia it was that tried to push that one home. Socrates now with a chance at the other end. Wins the corner. Changes for Argentina.
Well, good skills again. Goes round the goalkeeper with that drag, and very unlucky.
.55 seconds left in this first half. All the action coming to you on Star Sports throughout the whole of this tournament. You'll be able to see everything right through to the final game, as 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐵 was brave. Was that a slide tackle? No, said the referee. Well, we can see down there on the bench, Jose Fernando, the Argentinian coach, not happy with that decision.
Well, he it doesn't show too much on his face, does he? What he's feeling or thinking. Laranaga. But he knows what he wants from his boys, and he more often than not gets it.
Half an opportunity there as it was ripped in. 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐺 had just gone in there.
Quite possibly the best chance that they have worked, the Indonesians getting a corner. It was Ahmad Maulana not stretching enough. And that's a complete waste of a corner kick.
Good save from 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐺𝐵. Argentina bearing down, looking for more.
He's done well, this goalkeeper. He's had a lot of work to do, but he stood up to the test.
Socrates finds Jelani. Just content to run the clock down now, Indonesia, without conceding another one into the final 10 seconds and given away, but they couldn't capitalise on that. Basile just got that out of his feet, tried to keep possession, but it rolled away from him.
Well, all in all, Paul, it's fair to say that the Argentinians have dominated this without really have to work too hard. It's all been very easy for them.
The KL World Fives ceases to amaze us because Argentina look in fantastic form. 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵 is the key player. 3 goals in that first half. Vaporaki's got 3 as well. And at half-time here, Indonesia are trailing Argentina by 6-0.
A brand new season of MotoGP gets underway with the first night race to be staged, the Grand Prix of Qatar, coming to you from Doha, live on Star Sports, Sunday the 9th of March. Well, that really is going to be spectacular. I've been hearing that as far as cars are concerned, Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia want to stage a night race, but we're here for the futsal right now, and Argentina are really turning it on 𝐵𝐻𝐵. They were flat, it has to be said, last time out against Malaysia, but this time, what's the difference?
It just looks sharper, John. I think, you know, it's possibly something the coach said to them. I don't think he was very happy with their performance against Malaysia. So they've come out here with a purpose, with an intent, and yet they are not overstretching themselves. It's been all too easy for them.
Absolutely. Well, they have a half-time lead of 6-0. Let's see how they manufactured that lead. It's all about Christian Borutto. He came into this one as the leading goal scorer with 6 goals. He's now advanced it to 9. He scored a hat-trick, and it really set the tone for the half, didn't it?
Indeed. I mean, that early goal really set the Indonesians back. It was ever so easy. And then when he had an opportunity again, John, I mean, he can score from inside the D. He can score. He can power them in from outside the D as well.
Has the tactic with the goalkeeper switching for Indonesia worked? Here, for example, a keeper might have saved that.
A keeper would have saved that, but John, it hasn't worked for them. And ever since that goal, they have not tried it again. They've not gotten Sayan to come on for 𝐿𝐴𝐧𝐵𝐿𝐴.
Right, okay, so basically that didn't work, but nothing's really worked today because, as you said, it's been, and in the commentary, Paul Maester made the point, it's like a training exercise. But the thing about this training exercise is that their finishing practice is going brilliant, isn't it?
That is the important thing. When you move the ball around, when you switch play very easily, the finishing is always the most important. And this is where the strikers will gain a lot of confidence, like Vaporaki, like Borutto.
I like the quality we're seeing from Luis Gonzalez, who's a player who, of course, sat out the very flat performance against Malaysia. He comes in. We're taking a look at 𝐵𝐻𝐵𝐻, who's, of course, been a very all-action player. But Gonzalez has quality, and they maybe lacked 1 or 2 of those inspirational players, didn't they?
Indeed, I would say that was perhaps the difference between the game against Malaysia and the difference today against Indonesia. And once again, I mean, he threads that pass through for the deflection. And all this is not accidental. It is meant to be like that.
Absolutely beautiful, and the Indonesians could do nothing. They just stood and watched and wondered what they could do in the second half, and that's where I want you to lead me. What's going to happen in the second half?
I think, John, it's going to be same again. I don't think the Argentinians will let off. And for Indonesia, it really is a difficult time for the coach now. What do we do? 6 behind. Do we defend? Do we just go out and play? I think he'll be telling his boys, let's get that 1 goal. Let's try to score a goal against Argentina. Because back home in Indonesia, people will remember that.
Absolutely.
Just like the Malaysian coach wanted 1 goal against Argentina and got it.
I'm sure we wouldn't begrudge them that, would we? But they're a very professional outfit, Argentina. They'll have their designs on the second half, and we'll return to this Stadium Negara after a break with the second half as they lead by 6-0.
Welcome back to the 2008 KL World Fives. Indonesia currently trailing Argentina by 6-0 here at the magnificent setting that is the Stadium Negara. All the action on Star Sports, and a first half that has seen 2 hat-tricks, one from Boruto, the other one from Babaraki, and Argentina well and truly in control. 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐭 Singh joins me in the commentary position. 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐭, they are using this as a training exercise, but will Indonesia go for damage limitation, or will they try and push and score a goal or two themselves in the second half?
I think they should go out and attack Argentina, try to get a goal. At least there's some positive to take away from this game, because at this moment in time, I mean, in the first half, they've neither defended well or attacked at all. So it's been very, very poor from Indonesia. They will need to step it up. And I think there's no point now trying to be defensive. Just go out there and see if, you know, it is important when it comes down to the goal difference, I think, to decide who'll play in the plate and who'll play in the bowl.
Well, Group A, as it stands, sees Argentina on top, Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia, England in that order. Indonesia's goal difference going into this game was level, 10-10. Scored 10, conceded 10. Malaysia's wasn't as good as that, so possibly Malaysia to finish 4th, 𝐂𝐨𝐵𝐵, which could see a very, very tasty tie, because if we have a look in Group B, Brazil, Thailand, Holland, China and Iran. Iran were impressive this morning, taking all 3 points, so China will finish bottom of that group, having not taken a point so far in the tournament. It could set up a very interesting encounter with Holland or Thailand for Malaysia.
That group is very, very difficult to call. Very difficult indeed. Thailand, Holland, Iran, Brazil. There's 4 there. And Paul, it will not surprise me if the winners of the cup, the plate and the bowl came from this group.
It is a very, very strong group. They always have a group of death, and it's definitely this one. But it's all about Indonesia now, and the big question is whether they can hold Argentina at bay, whether they can push themselves and score a goal or two, whether that man's going to get sent off again. He did miss that game against Malaysia, or he got sent off, sorry, against Malaysia, which meant that he missed the England game. The reason we are waiting is because of the restart. You have to have the mandatory 15 minutes completed before you can start the game of futsal for the second half. Very, very strict with the rules here. Any dissent is straight away a yellow card. But 𝐂𝐨𝐵𝐵, there's one thing about this game. They don't take any nonsense, do they?
No, not at all. I mean, this is supposed to be a no-contact game, and the officials have done well. But to be honest, Paul, I don't think there have been too many incidences to talk about, apart from the one goal that Argentina scored when the ball hit.
And you said it didn't.
And I say it didn't. But
and I said it did.
But TV replays proved me wrong. But I think that was the only major incident. But well, they didn't make a fuss about it. They just got on with it, and I think, well, fair play to them.
Yeah, it wasn't really going to affect the outcome of the game. You could imagine that there would be uproar if it was to have been a critical moment in a match. Here we go. 𝐿𝐴𝐵 just looking to come forward. Dispossessed. Jelani shoots. 𝐿𝐴𝐵 had to get back quickly. So intention's been shown straight away from Indonesia, pushing on, making it difficult for Argentina to get out of their own half. Right, now you've seen a yellow card there because you have to be 5 meters away. So a bit of a daft, silly yellow card really for 𝐷𝐴𝐵. But again, we said it is a strict game with strict rules, and if you don't adhere to them, you do get punished.
Indeed you do, and there have been incidences where off the pitch, Paul, rather, the yellow card has been issued, especially when you step onto the pitch. There is a designated area or a marked area through which you can enter or leave the pitch. And these are the little things that the players have to be careful about. But a good start from Indonesia. They've had 2 shots on target, making Ilyas work a little bit.
Ball on the line, which means it's legitimate to play. Hasn't crossed out. Gonzalez injured for the game against Malaysia and England. come back in today, and well, the boot's gone further than the ball, Sheb, and we will see that on occasion. He runs back so that he can run off, which means a substitute will come on and replace him. But a little bit of a funny moment there. Let's just watch this again. Whee!
Well, indeed it is. I don't know, maybe he's playing in borrowed shoes. Too big for him.
This is much better from Indonesia at the start of this second half. They've picked the tempo. This is the Indonesia that we saw in the first half of the two games that they lost against Australia and Malaysia, where they really went at it.
And when they do that, Paul, I mean, they look very, very good now, pressing further up the pitch, winning the ball easily. There's better marking. And defensively, they look better as well.
It is the five that started the game for Indonesia. It is their first team. If you were to say that you pick and choose in futsal, you can't mention really about having a first team, an opportunity and a golden chance there for Denny. But again, Elias was strong and knows how to defend that situation.
Experienced goalkeeper. Did he do anything silly? Did he come charging out? No. What do you do? Block it. And that for me is a textbook goalkeeping in a futsal game.
Jelani, Socrates. Denny flicks it back, so that will mean Indonesia will drop to receive the ball. Fired into Angga. The movement's a little bit better as well from Indonesia at the start of this second half. So Coach Laksana must be a lot happier. Socrates turns. Then he takes over. A little bit of a clash there with Gonzalez and Socrates, but nothing cynical. Solo looking to get things going, just sitting in the pivot role on the edge of the halfway line. It's unusual there, so that's why, because Argentina are about to make their substitutions. You had all four Indonesians standing together and all four Argentinians standing together, and it just looked like a Mexican standoff.
I mean, this is an opportune time when you should press, play the pressing game, isn't it, Paul? I mean, in that confusion when the players are going in and out, press the ball, go forward.
Steve McMahon said that yesterday, which was very, very interesting. And obviously Steve, new to the game of futsal, and said, why don't teams do that? So
exactly.
Shebby, why?
It is a big surprise,
you play the game, you know the game. Why don't they do that?
Why do they back off? I mean, that is beyond me. I mean, that's a question that we should ask the likes of Laksana or Larrañaga. Go for it. That is the time when you have the advantage.
Handball given then, one foul each at the start of this second half. Strong challenges flying in there. Great skill, great feet, almost a great finish. What a challenge that was from Andre. It needed to be, because Baruto was looking at getting another one. Andre, the Indonesian, number 4 there, had to throw himself in.
Well, Paul, talk about sliding tackles.
Was it a sliding tackle?
I think it was.
Well, we have to just mention the reason that Chevy's brought that up is slide tackles in the game of futsal are banned. And there seems to be some confusion. We were talking to Graham Dell, who is the England coach, and he was talking about the slide tackle, and if it comes from behind, it's more of a block. If you do a slide challenge from the front, then they will definitely give it. So it just seems to be that that's one little grey area in futsal.
Well, indeed it is. I mean, you know, these are the kind of grey areas that you've got to iron out, be specific. The referees have got to be told what is right and what is not permitted. But Paul, as you said, I mean, it's a grey area, and possibly FIFA will be looking at that.
Elias there pushing forwards and fired in a shot. Unlucky there from Belcito, who is an absolute monster of a man. He must be about 7 foot tall, but what a strike that was from Indonesia. And again, Elias, not only can he go up and take shots, he can get back and he can keep goal as well. That's a good save. Very,
very important save that was. And that has been 4 times now that Elias has been called into action. And in the second half, Indonesia have had more shots at goal than Argentina. And they just look a different team, the Indonesians. must have been something that Justinus Laksana said at halftime.
Their heads were down after the first day, and quite clearly so. The 5-1 loss to Australia was hard to swallow for them, because I think they were expecting it to be a little bit closer, and it just shows how much development has been made over in Australia, and futsal in particular there. Then they came up against arch rivals Malaysia. Should have won the game after that first half performance, but Malaysia put in a sterling effort in the second half to clinch that one 3-2. Sloppy from Indonesia this time.
But really, Paul, I mean, you know, what I find interesting is, you know, and I don't know if it's a coincidence, ever since Australia have moved into under the AFC roof, they are playing in more competitions, likewise futsal as well, not only football, and that exposure, I think, is really helping them a lot.
It really is. There's no real set structure down there in Australia. They're trying to develop it. Remember PJ Roberts, who patrols the touchlines for us and gives us updates in certain games. He played it, well, he played it at the national level there, played for the national team. His father was instrumental in kick-starting futsal down in Australia. 1 or 2 half opportunities there. 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐵 having to be on his toes, nearly getting caught out again.
Well, after this bright start to the second half, the last thing you want is an individual mistake. And 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐵, they're giving the ball away. Very lucky not to be punished.
Osito just keeping possession. Godoy involved. Here he is again. Fires one across, was looking for that far post because players were coming in. Taffarel was tracking that back post.
He needed to get it hard and low, Paul. I thought that was a bad choice. He's tried to chip the ball to the far post.
Osito just plays it back wide. Godoy goes all the way back to Elias.
Well, no disrespect to Godoy, Paul. I mean, he's wearing the captain's armband. But I can tell you that there's some better players or more impressive players in the Argentinian team. Perhaps when the going gets tough, we'll see the captain stand up and show us that little extra quality. I'm sure that he has, because that's what has earned him the captain's armband.
Baruto dropping into a deep position and had a little bit of time and space, but just elects to push it sidewards. Changes will be rang again here by Argentina. You'll see the rotation that they're doing, the players moving around in a circular motion so that they can keep the ball. This is where 𝐒𝐵𝐵 and also Stephen Mann were on about pushing up and really putting some pressure on the ball there and trying to win it back.
Why not? There's nothing in the rules that say you can't do that. Or maybe it is a gentleman's agreement, which I disagree with. Well, the Argentinians now, once again, Paul, just keeping the ball a little longer.
Good skills. Ball just a little bit too far back, though, from Vaporaki.
It's that man, number 11, Gonzalez, Paul. I mean, every time he comes on, you do see some magic, some good passing and good movement from him. He's got an eye for the pass.
There's another man with an eye for a bit of skill, Jelani, who's forced his way through 3 blue shirts, but just couldn't come out at the other end with the ball. Here it is, Gonzalez. Gonzalez just plays it inside. The game played just behind Rashia. But 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐵 had to be on his toes and was, and pushes it wide.
Just stepping it up now a little bit. The Argentinians, they did allow Indonesia to have a good 6-7 minutes of the half.
Ball hooked up the line, so Indonesia will have the kick in. 7.5 minutes gone in this second half. Again, the clock stops every time that the ball goes out, which is why we do have 24 minutes of play. Another foul conceded there from Argentina. Just that little nudge in the back, quite clear there, you can see. Socrates shoots and just lashed away from Gonzalez.
Well, this is a totally different Indonesian team to the one that was out on the pitch in the first half. There's more purpose, there's directness about them, and intent.
Or is it Argentina taking their foot off the gas? That we do have to ask, because their test's going to come at the weekend. They know that.
No, Paul, I think, you know, credit to the Indonesians. They have come out a totally different team in the second half, making the Argentinians work defensively as well.
Argentina looking to move the ball yet again. Double team in there as well, as 𝐤𝐵 came across to help out 𝐻𝐵 to close the space on Gonzalez, not allowing him time on the ball. Denny just pokes it forwards. Good play from 𝐻𝐵. Socrates elects to just keep possession. 𝐻𝐵 again finds Socrates, who just pokes it wide. Unfortunately, that so Argentina will continue their slow build-up. Tempo seems to have been taken out of the game now. That's good play. The post is hit. Paparaki again looking to add to his tally of 6 for the tournament, 3 in this game. Gonzalez picks this ball up, runs straight at the heart of the defence, and then gets forced wide. Checks it back inside. Surely, what a save from 𝐂𝐳𝐵𝐿.
Very, very good block indeed. 𝐂𝐳𝐵𝐿 looking sharp. You don't have to catch them, Paul. That is why we see a lot of goalkeepers playing without gloves. But this is a different team in the second half.
𝐤𝐵𝐿 just the legs to keep possession again. Movement not as fluid as Argentina's. Foul conceded yet again. Let's see how this time adjudged to have been the guilty party. Was it a foul for you?
Well, there was no contact there, Paul, but striker being very, very clever, Denny, the number 10. And this man has had a bit more work to do in the second half.
𝐤𝐵𝐿 fires it in. What a strike that was, and it was a big save there from Elias.
Well, it is the substitute goalkeeper, Gramulia, who's come on, and this certainly has warmed his hands.
Well spotted, Sheb. I missed that one there. That's how quickly they rotate here in futsal. No foul given that time. And Elias just gets things going. Wonder if he'll be in the same sort of mould as Elias, who likes to foray forwards and have some shots from about 15 metres. It's Indonesia who win the ball back again, though, and it's just difficult to explain. It's literally like seeing chalk and cheese, Shebby, the first half and the second half.
Must be something in the halftime tea, Paul. They're really inspired. They're doing extremely well.
They're playing extremely well as well. They're stroking the ball around. They're making Argentina work. They were getting ready to do another change of shift. 𝐤𝐵𝐿 pokes it forwards, and Gramulia picks it up, and 3 against 2 here. Gonzalez squares it, and that is as simple as that. Apart from the finish, what an opportunity that was to add to the score. But fantastic movement and fantastic play, Shebby.
Indeed it is, and when the ball is played to Gonzalez, he cuts it back across ever so nicely. Cavilla getting a toe to it, but just unfortunately knocking it wide. That's the best we've seen from Argentina in the second half.
Alexander there not looking very, very happy. Maybe just a little bit disappointed that they allowed Argentina such a clear-cut chance. They've still yet to concede in this half, though. It's been a wonderful, wonderful performance from them. 𝐂𝐳𝐵𝐿 comes. Will we see a long-range shot? Again, the experience of the South Americans just trying to pick Indonesia off showing there, but they do lose possession. 𝐬𝐴𝐳 comes forward, closed down by Bruto, Basile. Again, 𝐂𝐳𝐵𝐻𝐲 called into action and does well.
Extremely well. I mean, he reads it well, gets his body down, picks the ball up, and suddenly there is more life in the Argentinians with Bruto coming on, winning the ball early. That was what they were doing in the first half, playing the pressing game, winning the one-on-ones against Indonesia. In the second half, they've been set back, they've been forced back a little bit, and that's not helping them.
Argentina will start the slow build-up yet again, Shep.
It is important, Paul, that I mean, this game is about one-on-one situations. Create one-on-one situations. Go past your man, and everything opens up for you. And that is not been happening in the second half with Argentina.
They've just been comfortable to play around and play the ball in front when they've had it. Could be a half chance here, though. 𝐂𝐳𝐵𝐻𝐲 called into action yet again. Cyanni's back on as an outfield player. Looks as though they've binned that idea totally of using him as a goalkeeper. And as their fifth power play player. Bruto plays it wide again. They're firing that ball in across the face of the keeper. So important to do that in futsal. That's where you score the majority of your goals. Always looking for that back post.
Well, good play, good urgency from the Argentinians. But I just feel, that they should be playing the pressing game, because they force the Indonesians into mistakes in the first half. Standing off like that is not helping them.
Just under 7 minutes to go here then. Argentina well in control. Never really looked like losing this game at all. Again, Argentina make the substitutions and play just gets stroked around.
It's just so frustrating when you watch that ball. It's one team
it must just
knocking the ball about, making their substitutions at their own will, at their own pace, at their own time, and the other just stands off.
𝐬𝐳𝐵𝐻𝐲, I think it's like you said, it must just be a gentleman's agreement that, again, for players' welfare or whatever, that, after having exerted themselves so much in the space of a very short space of time, that you don't go and press that situation.
Well, I hope it's not, because I think, you give the advantage to the team that is making the substitution. Why?
So the pace dropped a little bit in this game now. Argentina just content on playing a keep ball session. There's half a yard and half a chance though, but just a little bit too far, and that's just spooned right up in the air then from 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻.
Well, 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻 not showing too much composure on that occasion. Needed to hit it hard and low. It was set back ever so nicely for him.
Good skills there from Cyan. Managed to retain possession. Here he is again. Wasn't looking at all there. This could be danger. 2-on-1. Really couldn't capitalise, and 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻 again guilty of not punishing Indonesia there.
Not looking sharp enough, 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻 in front of goal. But credit to 𝐂𝐳𝐵𝐻𝐲. He did make the initial mistake, but does extremely well. Difficult to save that, hard and low, but he drops his body on the ball.
𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻 did well there, because there was a man at the far post, but Argentina battle hard again in the middle of the park and come away with the ball. 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻 plays it wide. Navlia with the ball in. Opportunity and chance there for Lapangan to add another one to his tally, but again fires straight at 𝐂𝐳𝐵𝐻𝐲.
Well, I would say it's a brilliant save from 𝐂𝐳𝐵𝐻𝐲. Paul, I mean, he's not throwing himself about. He's keeping, standing up, making himself big and strong, making the blocks rather than trying to make the saves.
Delani totally miscues that one, which is very unusual.
Well, he's had a good game in the second half, 𝐂𝐳𝐵𝐻𝐲. Very, very clearly, head and shoulders better than Didi, the second choice goalkeeper.
Solo just keeping possession again. Nice little bit of work there, but it didn't come off for Argentina. Chance here for 𝐤𝐵𝐻𝐵. 𝐤𝐵𝐻𝐵 comes inside, fires, but again, the experience of the South Americans just blocked that ball out. Again, substitutes coming on and off the field. 𝐂𝐳𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐵 making a run forwards. 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵 with the ball at his feet. Tafarel. 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐵 makes the run as well, but isn't seen, so Argentina continue to keep the ball. Here is 𝐕-𝐒𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐵 now. Comes inside one. Just couldn't get that under control, and big shrug there from Denny, who plays it wide. Jelani, Socrates, Benny. He's on as well.
Well, this is good work from the Indonesians. Possession, passing, movement, very much precise.
Argentina's last game will be against Australia tomorrow. And 𝐤𝐵𝐻𝐵, how do you see that one going? Because the Australians, like we mentioned earlier, have surprised everybody coming here. Will it be a physical bruising encounter?
I think it will be. I think, you know, when it comes down to the last game between Australia and Argentina, I think it will be a fight for top spot. Yes, the Argentinians perhaps might have scored more goals than Argentina, but you don't really want to finish runners-up in the group and face Brazil in the semi-finals. So that will be the incentive to avoid Brazil.
Feet again there from Anga, finds Socrates. 𝐤𝐵𝐻𝐵 dropped off deep. 1:45 on the clock as it runs down. We've got time for one more. That was a good snapshot there from Basile. Good save again from 𝐿-𝐵𝐻𝐵. He has been kept busy, particularly during that first half, and on occasions when he's been called into action this second half has come up good.
He's done well. I mean, this is a very good performance, not only from 𝐿-𝐵𝐻𝐵, but from Indonesia. And I think if they can keep it to 0-0 in the second half, they haven't got too much time left, it'll be credit to them. It'll give them a lot of confidence. Maybe the first half they were a bit nervous. Maybe they did give too much respect to the opponents. But in the second half, they have been a credit to their coach.
There he is, looking on one of the more colourful characters here in KL at the Stadium Negara. Been in a couple of his post-match press conferences, and he's always bubbly, always positive about his team. Also realistic about the ambitions that his side have as well. Very much still a developing nation in the game of futsal. Colourful character.
Well, he is a very, very passionate person that he is, and he knows what his charges are capable of. He's not afraid to tell them if they've not given their all, but he'll be very happy and proud of the second half performance.
Can they just sneak something and take away a little bit more than that, just a little bit of pride by sneaking a goal? We'll know in 45 seconds time. Sayan looks to create a yard for himself, goes nowhere. Runs straight into Lapangan. Goes from the wrong side there, so putting pressure on from both angles. Argentina still not allowing Indonesia a goal, trying to make it as difficult as possible for them to try and score a goal. They're very much third gear this second half, 𝐤𝐵𝐻𝐵.
Well, I think they've been forced into it. and that's credit to the Indonesians. And I don't know, Paul. I mean, yeah, there was 12 goals in that game against England, but Argentina were a little flat against Malaysia. In the second half here, they failed to score against Indonesia, or rather, they have got, well, about 5-6 seconds left. So there are doubts about whether they will be able to raise their game come the game against Australia and win the group.
That is the full-time whistle, and it will see Argentina comfortably on top of Group A. 9 points now, 25 goals for and only 2 against. Indonesia, well, they'll take heart from that second half performance. An absolutely different side that took to the floor and really, really did give themselves credit. As it is here in KL at the World Fives, the final score, Indonesia 0, Argentina 6.